Barbadians appear to be heeding the word and preparing early for the hurricane season. The island is gearing up for a visit from a number of Liberians making an historic migration to that African country. Q100.7 FM celebrates an important landmark with its Q in the community family. And in sports, World Cup ticket booths up and running after some initial hiccups.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Pearson Bowen. Come Monday, over 250 Liberians are expected to visit Barbados for a week in recognition of the 159th anniversary of the migration of 346 Barbadians to the West African country. It takes place under the theme Sankofa, the Pilgrimage to Barbados. And joining us now live to talk about this historic trip is Minister in the Prime Minister's Office with responsibility for culture, Senator Dr. Chantal Munro-Knight. Dr. Munro-Knight, good evening to you.
Good evening to you, Pearson, and good evening to all the viewers as well. Happy to be here.
Thank you for joining us. Now, all of this falls within the season of emancipation, but this return of Liberians to Barbados, could you put all of this, the importance of it into context for us?
Yes, Pearson. So first of all, in February of this year, Barbados would have established diplomatic ties with Liberia. So that this Sankofa pilgrimage is a direct outcome of that memorandum of understanding that we would have established with Liberia. In the context of that relationship, we had agreed that we will try to strengthen ties, strengthen cooperation in the areas of social, economic, political, and of course culture, particularly focusing on culture and tourism. So here, as you said, this month on Monday from the 6th to the 13th, we will have these 250. We're even looking at a little bit more. Every day the numbers are changing. Every day people are registering and they really want to come on this pilgrimage. The important thing of this pilgrimage is that we have, of those 250 or 300 persons that will be coming from USA, Canada, and Liberia, 95% of them, 95% of them actually have familial ties with those persons that would have left Barbados 159 years ago to Liberia. So imagine that. These people are coming here looking to be able to make connections with their families here in Barbados. Importantly, Barbados would have given, as I think I said before, two presidents. And I wanted to be able to track down, make sure that I got those names, and they were actually Barclays. Yeah, yes. Those two presidents that had Barbadian ancestry that ended up being Liberian presidents, they were actually Barclays. And so you have that whole lineage of people coming here to Barbados over these days in order to be able to understand a little bit about their culture and heritage. Importantly as well, outside of culture and heritage, which is of course important in the context of the season of emancipation, we are also bringing some other persons here. There will be, for instance, the head of the Port Authority, the head of the Investment Cooperation Agency within Liberia. We'll be having a business roundtable as well, so that again, we can seek to capitalize on those ties that we have with Liberia and to make sure that we can put business people together again to see how we can strengthen the linkages that we have with the continent.
It dovetails beautifully.
Want to say that
It dovetails beautifully with what the Prime Minister's mission is, to be able to open up the gateway for us not just to travel as a people, but to see business opportunities. But for those who are visiting who do have familial ties, what programs are put in place so that they can reconnect with their history here?
Yes, please, Pearson. So one of the main activities that we will be hosting is a genealogy workshop. And that genealogy workshop is going to be managed by the Archives Department. And as we all know, the Archives Department has the second oldest transatlantic slave records in the world, second only to the United Kingdom. Yeah, and therefore we will have all of them, and we will also invite Barbadians. We're opening it up to everybody that they can come down, and you can imagine the magic that can happen if you are able to help all of those 250, 300 persons be able to trace their family ties through the National Archives, yeah? And that is going to be one of the standalone activities. But as well, they're going to have a number of commemorative activities. We'll be erecting a plaque in the area. We don't know the exact pinpoint area, in the area that the ship would have sailed from Barbados to Liberia. We're going to be having a Thanksgiving service. They're going to be doing cultural tours, including coming to Oistins as well, as part of that entire pilgrimage as well. So a variety of activities that would allow them to see the fullness and experience the fullness of Barbados. One of the final things I do want to say is that we're very excited as well to have former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. I know time is running out, but I need to say that this former president has won the Nobel Peace Prize. She was also someone that was in prison, almost executed, and she will be here on Ireland as well, and we'll be having a special discussion with her to talk about her life experiences and her contributions as well.
It truly sounds very exciting, I'm sure. As typical Barbadians, we'll open our arms to welcome our brothers and sisters from Liberia. Dr. Chantal Monroe-Knight, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you very much. Have a good night, everyone.
In other news, now, with the 2024 hurricane season a month away, Minister of Home Affairs and Information, Wilfred Abrams, is reminding Barbadians to take all precautions as the weather systems are changing. As a result, hardware stores are stocked and ready to receive customers. And retailers say Barbadians have been preparing earlier than usual as the start of that hurricane season approaches. But they expect that as the month approaches and progresses, more customers will come in droves. Rachel Agard reports.
Reports from the Met Office indicate this year's hurricane season, which begins on June 1st and ends on November 30th, is set to be an active one. Mr. Abrams says due to events over the last 2 years, they're treating May as the start of the season for the purpose of preparedness so they are not caught by surprise again. However, he stresses the official start of the hurricane season remains the 1st of June.
The last couple of years, we know we've gotten weather systems in May, right? And what we don't want is to be caught with our pants down. The earlier we prepare, the better it is, right? So you're going to start to see hurricane preparedness PSAs and things coming out from as early as next week. And this is just to bring it front of mind for all Barbadians that this is that time of the year.
Additionally, the Home Affairs Minister tells Barbadians with the uncertainty of climate change, it's becoming more difficult to predict weather systems and when the island will be affected.
Our Met Services said that we can expect a number of exceedingly rapidly developing systems, which will make the notice very short. And we just have to look at the example we had of the freak storm and the lightning storm as well. So a word to the wise is sufficient.
Mindful of this, Barbadians have been preparing earlier than usual by purchasing the necessary items ahead of the start date.
Our customers will come for generators, for roofing stuff, to fix leaks, to secure the roof, hurricane straps, but also easy stuff, basic products like sandbags, for example, cleaning material, mops, buckets, this kind of stuff. We saw in the past a lot of last-minute rush, so we're seeing already increasing in sales in those items, which is good.
A marketing officer, Charlie Mullin, says Koiman is set to launch its fully digital hurricane campaign from June 1st. She adds customers will still be able to contact them via the usual avenues as well as via their new chatbot. Over at Carter's General Store in Wildy, Assistant Manager Chad Hadley says they too had all items in place for their customers.
At Carter's, we strive to always have the best availability of items. We have obviously a wide range of generators available all now. We've also have a wide range of hurricane straps and stuff for your buildings, support your roofs and all of that. And also we also have a very large quantity of screws available.
Mr. Hadley adds he too has seen early preparedness on the customer's part.
This year I have noticed personally that there have been a lot of people coming in and buying tarpaulins and stuff early and also inquiring a lot about the generators as well.
At Ace HMB Hardware in Warrens, hardware manager Michael Cummins says they too have all items on hand, including machetes, hurricane straps, generators, lanterns, and such like.
We just seen 1 or 2 customers coming in early. You see the brandy saws and the 1 or 2 generators to prep themselves for the season. We are ready. We have everything on hand. We are well prepared.
All hardware stores remain ready to receive those customers who have not yet started preparations. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Well, 20 years are not 20 days, and that is true for one of our radio stations here at the CBC. Q100.7 FM is turning 20 in a few hours, and to celebrate the milestone, a special Q in the community is on as we speak in our outer car park. Rianne Phillips tells us more.
It was a sea of green in the CBC's outer car park today as Q in the community returned home for a special occasion.
We are celebrating with Q 100.7 FM, who turns 20 on Friday, May 3rd. So no better way to celebrate than with Q in the community, bringing it home to CBC and with our Q family. Well, we've asked our Q family to wear green in celebration. They've responded. The Q family is a very responsive audience, so we told them to wear green and they've come out in their green, as you can see. Of course, we're going to be doing some interactive games with them, testing their knowledge on how well they know QFM. And of course, we're going to have some entertainment later tonight with some live artists as well.
And members of the Q family turned out in their numbers for the celebration, telling us what they like about the event and radio station.
I'm retired, so Q is my thing. Every Thursday you will find me at Q. I like listening to the roof deck, Tequila. I like to listen to those.
It's a pleasure of mine always coming to the Q. I enjoy it. I was doing it for a matter over 18 years. It is informative with the Admiral. He is my favorite personality, and Dane Kimberly.
It was also a double celebration for loyal listener Maureen Cadogan, who chose to celebrate her birthday with us.
I like that you get news, you get your latest on everything. I love the Admiral, I love Tequila, I love Kimberly. I just love the station, I just love it. Happy birthday to Q and happy birthday to me. Q is good for you and Q is good for me.
All right, coming up, support for some Class 4 students as they prepare for the Common Entrance Examination. Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Kevin Greenidge, is supporting commercial banks' decision to block credit card purchases of cryptocurrencies.
The credit card belongs to the bank, so they have to make sure that what you do with what you are exposed to meets their risk appetite and where their risk temperature is. From a financial perspective, in terms of the financial system, because cryptocurrency is the newest fashion and bitcoins and things, doesn't mean that we here have to jump on the bandwagon. We have to be careful and make sure that the products and things that we allow to set up at the end of the day are things that are reliable, have met the test of time, and doesn't compromise any way our financial stability. So I'm on board with the banks. We respect that as governor.
The governor also shared his personal position.
I have 0 bitcoins and 0 cryptocurrency. Too complicated for me to understand. And when it's complicated, I stay away from it. Good old cash and some bank accounts.
Class 4 students of the Lawrence T. Gay Memorial Primary School will have all the tools they need to write the 2024 Barbados Secondary Schools Entrance Examination next Tuesday. Member of Parliament for St. Michael West Central, Minister of Tourism and International Transport Ian Gooding-Edgell presented the students with packages which included rulers, pencils, sharpeners and erasers, among other items. Minister Gooding-Edgill says he is pleased to share words of encouragement with the students, many of whom reside within his constituency.
We do a lot of work with the school. We do a number of other community-based activities, but there's nothing that beats educational activity, and for us it's another opportunity to ensure that we have our children in the community transition through the various stages of life, and this is a transition from the primary to the secondary, and therefore it's incumbent upon me, wherever possible, I insist to do so as part of our community outreach program.
Meanwhile, Principal Brent Blackett thanked Minister Gooding-Edgill for his continual support.
It's my second year here, and I noticed that last year he was very present in giving assistance to the school, and we look forward to that and continued support. The school is indeed a part of the community. Lots of the children come from the immediate area, and they need as much assistance as they can get. And I think that if we can get the school planned to be improved, it will be so much better for the children in terms of their education and what they can achieve.
A regional marketing agent is calling for Caribbean islands to have more cross-cultural exchanges. St. Martin Tourism Bureau marketing agent Jacqueline Louis has been exploring how to create a lasting relationship with Barbados and to share its tourism product. She says following talks with Prime Minister Mia Amal Motley, she now has a sense of hope in promoting her country's tourism product.
Oftentimes, the Caribbean islands see themselves as competitors, and that's something I personally, and as St. Martin, we want to step away from. We are looking forward to collaborating and creating what we call cross-cultural exchanges, whereby St. Martiners would come to Barbados, like I have, and experience your culture, experience your life, live the vibes like we've been doing at Barbados Reggae Weekend. And similarly, we invite you to the shores of St. Martin.
Ms. Louis, who is also Chief Executive Officer of Embrace Group, was speaking on the sidelines of Barbados Reggae in the Gardens show at the National Botanical Gardens at the weekend. She says the show gave her team an opportunity to partner with promoters Ryan Brathwaite and Antonio Moore to highlight some of what her country has to offer.
As a representative of St. Martin, I must say that this festival has been a wonderful experience. It has not only showcased our Caribbean culture, but it has brought so many different people together from all walks of life. And as a representative, as a strong St. Martiner, I must say that we will be back next year, and we're looking forward to another great experience at Barbados Reggae Weekend.
Ms. Louis adds she has already started discussions with Win Air and Inter-Caribbean on packages to St. Martin, similar to Caribbean Airlines. Well, thousands of Pan enthusiasts were treated to a dynamic show at Pan Pundy Hill this weekend. That event was held on the lawns of the Christchurch Foundation School. Rachel Agard was there and filed this report.
Supporters of PAN were serenaded by steel orchestras from several secondary schools, including St. Leonard's Boys, and headliners Christchurch Foundation. But it was the PAN side from the school on the hill, led by musical director Laurie Worrell, who brought the crowd to its feet and the curtain down. They recreated Trinidad and Tobago's BP Renegades winning arrangement of Mikhail Teja's DNA at Panorama 2024. The pulsating rhythm of the steel bands gave the patrons many a moment to get to their feet, with selections from Red Plastic Bag, Edwin Yearwood, Black Stallion, and Baron, to name a few. Mr. Worrell, the event organizer, says there's been vast improvement in all the steel orchestras on the card.
I expect that they're going to keep growing, and the interest is going to grow within the schools, and that is going to then feed into other programs like the National Steel Orchestra.
The Christchurch Foundation School Steel Orchestra also paid tribute to Ken Jones and Troubadours International, as well as the Mighty Gabby, with a school session and a musical melody, respectively. Mr. Worrell says following the event, he expects more people will show an interest in Pan, especially with pandemonium on the horizon.
I expect that person going to come out to hear some of these groups, right? The groups have been performing well. The tutors have been doing a fantastic job. If you see the size of the groups, you can tell that there's interest, that the children are loving steel pan music. And we want the world to understand that Barbados coming. We want Trinidad to understand that Barbados coming. So look out for the steel pan players from Barbados.
All proceeds from the event will help the Christchurch Foundation School Steel Orchestra purchase new pans from Trinidad and Tobago. Rachel Legard, CBC News.
Sports Night, brought to you with the compliments of Great Health Works, agents for Omega XL.
Time to head over now to the sports world to join Damien Best. Damien, good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you, Pearson. Good evening to all viewers and listeners. We start with some cricket news. Hundreds of Barbadians turned up at Kensington Oval this morning to purchase tickets for the highly anticipated 2024 ICC Men's T20 Cricket World Cup. However, some of them were not happy. CBC's Amar Goodrich-Boyce has that story.
It's less than a month to go until the start of the ICC T20 Cricket Men's World Cup. And this morning outside of Kensington Oval, the physical box office opened, with patrons lining up to purchase tickets for the big event.
From as early as 8:30, 2 hours before the scheduled opening time for the box office, there was a hive of activity outside of the region's Mecca, as locals and tourists wasted no time in queuing up to secure seats for the 9 matches which will be held here in Barbados. However, there were a few hiccups with the ticketing process, leaving some fans who spoke with CBC Sports in the initial stages frustrated.
If it was better organised, I'd be excited because I would have my ticket and I'd be on my way home. But as it happens at the moment, I cannot be excited until I've got the tickets. I don't know what's going to happen when I get there. I've come from England to watch the cricket, and you know it's not what I expected.
Apart from the ticketing issue, though, how excited are you to be in the cricket?
I'm a cricket man, right? So I love the game. That's why I'm here. But yeah, I look forward to seeing the cricket. The match starts and get to the final. I hope the West Indies are there.
This is morning one, day one of the box office. Disaster. Now I've been put off by this. I'm going to go to one match and I'll watch the rest on TV. That is not what you wanted. You've not really encouraged the locals. I'm a local, I'm a Bajan citizen. You haven't encouraged us to come to all the matches.
Nevertheless, media operations manager for the World Cup, Philip Spooner, says the ticket issue, which also occurred throughout the region, has now been resolved.
It wasn't smooth sailing at the start, but it's settled down now, and people are really getting into it. We had some excellent staff who were able to deal with those challenges, ensure that everybody got looked after, and now we're settling in, and the process seems a lot more streamlined and a lot better, in terms of the systems. We also had a few challenges in the other countries across the region, but all those are now settled, and it's a comfortable environment for our fans, and our fans are the most important people.
One patron, Solomon Makda, was elated to have his tickets in hand and says he'll be bringing his entire family to the grand final on June 29th.
I got through with my final tickets as well. I'm going to come with the family as well, so I'm really excited to see the World Cup final.
Okay, tell me, are you a big cricket fan?
Yes, of course, I'm a very big cricket fan, and I love cricket from a young time.
What are you excited most about this World Cup?
I would like to see the game which is like between India and West Indies, because my first home team is India and I live in Barbados, so definitely I wanted to see that game. Whoever wins doesn't matter, but I wanted to see this game for sure in Super 8.
There was also entertainment at today's box opening, with cultural ambassador the Mighty Gabby performing some of his songs. The World Cup is set to begin on June 1st, with matches slated for the USA and the Caribbean. Anmar Goodrich-Boyce, CBC Sports.
The Business Report, brought to you with the compliments of Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
In tonight's business report, a mobile skate shop has opened its doors to Barbados in Barbados. It is the brainchild of young entrepreneur Jonathan Austin. At a ceremony at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium, attended by bank, insurance and advertising officials, invited guests were given an insight into the formation of the company, the first of its kind in Barbados. Trevor Thorpe reports.
The brightly coloured mobile headquarters entered the eastern car park of the gymnasium to rapturous applause from the gathering. Anglican priest, the Reverend Peter Haynes, was on hand and invoked God's blessing on the new enterprise. Jonathan Austin is the driving force behind the project and thanked all concerned for their time and effort in helping him to bring the idea to fruition.
Jono's Skate Bus is a mobile store which was originally a regular Hino Rainbow minibus. For the past year, my dad and I have worked relentlessly and obsessively to convert this bus into a mobile skate shop. The idea came about as after 2 years of being in business, Jono's Skate Shop was very successful. And around Christmas is around the busiest time. But however, although the Christmas season so far have been very successful, I normally do deliveries and it's hard to manage it when it's it's high demand. And that is really where the idea for the bus originated.
He said it has been quite a journey for him.
We also will be collaborating with the different roller skate groups like 246 Skate Group and Good Skate Cruisers, along with the skateboard community as well, and going into communities to expose skateboarding and roller skating into the different communities. The bus will not be going out on the road every day. We will still utilize deliveries and meetups during the year.
Father and businessman Stephen Austin provided guidance and support for the startup of the business. He said it is beyond the traditional skate shop and is dedicated to promoting skateboarding and roller skating as healthy, accessible activities.
It was an excellent plan. I showed him how to find funding from the trust fund. And he borrowed $5,000 to start his business. I loaned him a couple thousand more. Within 3 weeks, he sold out and reordered. He ordered, then listened to his customers and ordered roller skates. And from there, it's taken off.
There's also a give-back element to the business, and the young entrepreneur has already assisted young persons with medical help. Trevor Thorpe for the Business Report.
Members of the Alliance Owners of Public Transport have given the thumbs up to new electric vehicles for their business. A cross-section of owners and the media went on a bus tour today. Trevor Thorpe was there, and this report.
Safety and comfort were high on the minds of owners and drivers on the 10-mile demonstration tour. Bus owner Natasha Clement, who plies the Christchurch route, tells the Business Report the vehicle was impressive over the bumpy roads travelled and also spoke of some other points.
Well, I think the vehicle is good. The aspects of driving is smooth on the roads, because the roads is not well provided right now with the bumps and stuff like that, the holes and stuff. But to me, again, a good little smooth going through the little holes, the potholes and stuff like that. One thing I really like about the vehicle is when he going up a hill, how you can put it in low gear, and when you move back off, it goes off smoothly. It don't roll back down the hill. That's one good aspect I like about it.
Long-standing owner and driver Buffy Marshall says the move from the internal combustion engine to electric vehicles is the way the sector will have to go.
I think this is the way to go. Fantastic vehicle. Seating, comfortable. Driving, it's the way to go. It's the way to go. And I feel as time go on, a lot of folks can catch on to it. I saw the guy stopping around the View Hill and just thought it was a rally car, man. I mean, we got almost 14 people in the vehicle, and the vehicle just asking for road. And got a few features too, like as you said, it could recharge on when you're braking and going downhill and what's not. So I think this is the way to go. I was sold.
Financing for electric vehicles is already in place, and the Chief Executive Officer of Herzer Motor Company, Jerry Lalchan, says there are plans afoot to take lending officers on a test drive.
Most of the banks have financing for EV vehicles, and the Stand Republic Bank is also joining on board with 100% financing, but we haven't dealt with them directly yet. We would like to invite them out on a ride so that they can touch, see and feel the product that they would be financing and be comfortable to know that that's what they would be financing for their clients.
The downhill retarding system was among the safety features of the vehicle, catching the attention of owners and drivers on the bus tour. Trevor Thorpe for the Business Report.
He's back with that second half. Damien.
Thanks so much, Pearson. Well, Barbadian boxer Ricardo Blackman has continued an impressive start to his professional career, defeating hometown boy Stefan da Silva at the Everest Cricket Ground in Guyana recently to maintain a perfect record of 2-0. After the stunning victory, Blackman is hoping to punch above his weight. CBC's Amar Goodrich-Boyce has that story.
Blackman, also known as the babyface bomber, who weighs 118 pounds, was forced to go the distance of 6 rounds to remain unbeaten and inflict the first defeat on da Silva by majority's points decision in the bantamweight category. Although admitting that the fight against the Guyanese champion was challenging, he's pleased with his performance after staging a massive upset.
I started my job very early and I took control. I was just a bit cautious because the fighter, Stefan, he's a very strong boy. He's a very powerful puncher. So I was very cautious in this fight, but controlling the fight from 1 round to round 6 was the game plan, and I used the jab and setting up all the shots from the jab. And it was very successful.
The 32-year-old, who's also a police officer, says he has big plans to stay in the boxing ring in the future.
There are more things to come. I would like to build the record up to at least 8-0 or 10-0 to get a title fight on the international stage, you know. First I go and take on some of the Caribbean champions, and then if we get on the international stage and look for something big, especially to be one of Barbados' first world champions in the lower divisions.
Promoter and veteran coach Sam Lane believes Blackman has the potential to become the island's first official world boxing champion.
He has what it takes. He has all the tools, he has the correct mentality, he has the confidence, he has the experience. He's seen some of these guys who are world champions right now. As a matter of fact, we go through a lot of the videos with the world champions. Some of them he's seen in the amateurs, and he's almost at that level. As you know, from our part, we had Sean Cross fight for the world title in Russia. I expect this young man to be challenging for a title by the end of this year. If we can keep on getting the fights coming on a regular basis, I want to see him fighting at least once a month.
Blackman is set to continue his training as he awaits the next match. Anmar Goodrich-Boyce, CBC Sports.
And that's our time tonight. Thank you for spending it with us. I'm Pearson Bowen. For the crew, to all of you, good night. By God's will, we'll see you tomorrow.